Hey everybody! So I am going to share with you a voice and a test that saved my life with breast cancer. To backtrack a little bit, in late 2017, I started to feel tired, exhausted physically and emotionally, and feeling the need to take some things off my plate. I did have a lot on my plate, and most people who know me have always thought that I do a ton of stuff, and I have, but at a certain point I think it got to be too much with auditioning, acting, yoga, waiting tables, improv, my boyfriend, my 2 dogs. Like, I really didn't have any time for myself. And I started to notice that. And on top of that, I was also trying to save a family member that wasn't wanting or ready to be saved, and that was taking an emotional toll on me as well. So I knew I had to take some things off my plate, or at least something, and I decided I would take a break from improv. So I did that, and it was nice. I did have some extra time that I would have been spending, even though I missed improv, I needed the break. So then in early 2018, I heard this voice, and it's not an audible out loud voice. It's that voice of intuition, that voice in your head, that voice in your body. And it's actually been the voice that I've listened to every time I've moved. When I was in North Carolina to New York to LA, moving to Atlanta, every single time I felt an energetic pull and that voice telling me it's time to go there. And I've made a lot of decisions in my life that way, actually. Just sometimes I think I'm more in tune with it than others. So there was a voice in the beginning of 2018 that told me to get the BRCA gene mutation test. What that is, the BRCA test, we all have the BRCA gene. In my family, there is a mutation. And you have a 50% chance from your parents. So if your mom or your dad has a mutation, they have a 50% chance of giving you the mutation. My dad had tested positive for the mutation in the past. And I've had other family members to test positive. Why I have never had the test before, I really can't say, except I never really felt like I needed to get tested. I don't think I truly understood how high the risks were. I don't think that I ever really imagined that I could get breast cancer or cancer in general. And I always had said, I'll get the test when I feel like I need to. And I had mentioned it to a gynecologist before, or at least one of mine, if not a couple. And I remember this particular one had said, this was quite a few years ago. He goes, I don't know, if your life insurance will go up or your health insurance will go up. And some people want to know and some people don't want to know. And I was kind of like, well, I guess I'm not going to get it. And pretty much at that, and I think I mentioned it to another doctor, and they all were pretty much like, it's your choice whether you get the test or not. So since no one took my hand, pulled me there to get the test, or really told me you have to get it, I just hadn't gotten it. But I heard the voice, and I think I heard it twice, and it was very clear to go get the test. So I did. I called my primary care doctor. She made an appointment with a genetic counselor at Emory, and I went in and had the blood test. She called me about a week later telling me I did test positive for the mutation. So I went back to her office, and she also gave me numbers for a couple of oncologists because I'm supposed to start screening appointments. There were 2 I think she gave me, and then I made an appointment with one of them. So then a few months later, I went to see my oncologist for a screening appointment. So in that very first appointment I had, she felt a lump on my left side. It was on my left breast, under my armpit. It was small, hard, and it was there. And she asked, have you felt this before? And I had not. And then I said, I'm going to get my period soon. It might be that. And she goes, well, you are considered high risk. So we are going to proceed with a biopsy. And she even mentioned, if you weren't BRCA positive, we wouldn't be on high alert about this, and we would probably kind of wait and see with other people, but you are high risk. So I had a biopsy, a mammogram, and an MRI when it was all said and done. And when the biopsy came back, there were cancer cells in my breast. The MRI picked up a tumor in my right breast that the mammogram did not pick up. So we had that biopsied. That came back cancer tumors in my right breast. I think that one was a lot harder than the left side because one tumor, that was a big enough news. Having two tumors, one in each breast, that was a lot for me to deal with. With that being said, that test, I think, saved my life, along with me listening to that voice. And whether that voice was that open channel that I have, whether it was my angels, whether it was my body, whether it was a combination of all of them, whatever it was, I'm really glad that I listened. My cancer was very aggressive, and I had triple negative breast cancer, and especially with triple negative, it was grade 3. Those tumors tend to grow fast. My usual appointment to see my gynecologist was in December. So if I would have waited until December, hopefully I would have felt a lump myself beforehand. And I don't even want to imagine that because that's not what happened. But I want to share that with you because there is power in getting that test if it runs in your family. And if you've never thought so before, I'm proof of it. So listening to your body whenever it's telling you something is wrong, whether it's cancer or something else, you are going to intuitively know more than the doctors. So I want to encourage you to fight for that. If someone is telling you, oh, there's nothing wrong, when you feel like there's something wrong, I want to empower you to really listen to your body. And yeah, if the BRCA mutation, if you've had breast cancer or ovarian cancer in your family and no one's ever been tested, it's definitely worth knowing, especially because of my experience. So I hope this helps, and please share it with someone you love if it will help them.